Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the U Spray podcast with Toddy and Mitch. How you going, bro? Yeah, bro. No complaints. No complaints here, man. Went for a couple of hours.
What do you reckon? You reckon my plane is too late today or not?
There's probably a good chance. There's a good chance. If what was that? What's that movie? Lemony Snicket's Unfortunate Events.
Yes.
Yeah, with Jim Carrey. That is you. Toddy Smith's Unfortunate Events always happens to Mr. Toddy, but
Too much of a nice guy.
oh, bro, you're probably just lucky. Yeah, but yeah, what's the good word, man? What do you got? No good words,
man.
Yeah.
Same old. I mean, every day is a good word. Like, always winning.
Yeah, spray's picking up.
Spray's
Obviously, with the warmer weather, everyone's out and about, breaking their machines and buying new machines and accessories and stuff like that. So it's good to see. I think it's going to be a busy run in to the end of the year, especially with the amount of rain we've had this year. So yeah,
Bro, you know what's crazy? I was like, because obviously we go around and we deal with distributors. It's just wild to me the amount of people that want to give us a go because no one else will.
Mhm.
And it's like because take independent hardwares for example. They don't want to deal with us. They don't want to help us because it'll upset the Bunnings warehouse.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, they don't want to help us because they don't upset Dulux or whoever else. And it's just like, man, I feel like there's more of them than more of the small guys around than the big guys. It's just yeah, it takes a bit of work, takes a bit of love. It just highlights how you know how people get businesses get comfortable and complacent and lose focus on what truly matters.
Well, it's funny how you say that, man. I really look at it as simple as this. I think regardless whether people think it or not, is we're in a triangle, I believe, with independent paint shop owners, ourselves, and painters or business owners. Now, why do I say that that's a bit of a triangle? Because we've all got something in common. We are a small business. We are small business, and we're trying to work hard for our families, do things that we're passionate about, and be good at what we do. And painters are doing that every day for their families, and then and independent doors, same thing. They're in there working their asses off to serve their customers. Now, so are we. We're doing that. We're doing everything that we can to help independent paint stores and painters. So that's why I think there's a triangle. Now, what's the difference outside of that? Like corporate businesses. And while there is some good people in corporate businesses, don't get me wrong, great people, don't get me wrong, but there's a common theme that I feel when it comes to dealing with corporates, and we've had our fair conversations with them around the industry, what we're trying to do. They're trying to do some conversations around, could we work together? Is there something like that available? And it's just become very apparently clear that they don't give a shit about painters. They don't give a shit about independent paint stores, and they don't give a shit about us. That's the triangle. That's the small business triangle, right? They're worried about them, how they look, and how much money they can churn for their shareholders. And there is a lot of painters out there that are actually feeding that beast, but they're actually getting shut on. And so are independent paint stores. We deal with them a lot. We see the margins that they're given, how they're putting it into the box. They're the ones doing all the work. So carrying the brand. So the way that we've always said, if you're a distributor and you sell our stuff, you should earn good margins because you are the face of us and selling direct to your customers. You're doing all the hard work, so you should get the money. So why are independent stores getting shafted by corporates and also painters getting shafted as well.
Can I share an experience?
Yeah, sure.
I've spoken about before. Recently, I had the opportunity to help one of our distributors get a sale across the line. So this particular sale, we sold 2 machines. Customer versus him buying, the standard machines out there, similar size. Customer saved $5,000 on these 2 machines, which is a lot of money for him and his family and his business. The independent partner of ours made more money on that sale than if they sold 6.5 pallets of paint.
Wow,
Trading.
it's unbelievable.
But obviously, we made our right mind too. So it's like going back to a triangle scenario. It's like that's what it's all about, man. We want you to make more money for your business, for your family, for your people, for your tribe. But you, the small business, we want you same thing. We want you to make more money for you, your people, your tribe, your family. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And it's like what people don't realize is like you need me, you need me. It means like, bro, if we just do this together, we're all going to freaking win. And then if they don't want to get on, one day they can come up for us. That's what it is. And it's you just see it, and it's like the people that get it truly get it, and it's like it's a pleasure to deal with them.
Yeah,
stuff happens from time to time. Just fix it. Whatever, bro. It's all good.
Yeah.
We all win. We all suffer. When we all got to dig in and do the work.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. But
it's so interesting. Like, man, what I get pissed off about all the time is these paint price rises. Man,
because
every 6 months, oh, we've had to put it up because one reason or the other, things are going up, and it's the painters paying for it. The painters paying for it. The painters paying for it. But the unfortunate thing for painters is things are going up, but the rate the painters are being paid isn't significantly rising. So it's just getting harder and harder and harder. And I feel like a lot of people just accept that, where I think that they should be challenging that, and you should be going out to other people and gauging, pricing from others and see what you can get, because you are the brand, you are the business, and if you're spending 100 to 150 grand with someone, and you believe that you're not getting looked after, go talk to another paint store, another rep, and see, what they can do for you. Why not gauge it? If you can save 10 to 20% a year, go for it. Like, you might get a better rebate, you might get something.
Watch how quickly the support level goes back up from the guys when you left.
Yeah, exactly.
Back love, I need to
Exactly. That's how it works.
But I shouldn't feel bad either.
Yeah, but I do. The more independent stores that we're working with, I do really love and appreciate that so many painters support them as well, and how they do things. They're just really good operators, and they're good people. And I think that shines through in this day and age, where there's so much bullshit, there's so much negativity, there's so many smokes and mirrors, people being fake. Like, 10 to 15 years ago, you shook someone's hand, you say, yeah, mate, done deal, man of my word. You shake someone's hand here, it's followed by, yeah, mate, yep, sounds good, send it to me in writing. And then you send it in writing, and then it's like some sort of loophole that, well, you didn't exactly say that. Like, it's just.
Could have.
Yeah.
Could have.
There's just no, yep, I stuffed up. Yeah, I'll fix it. Which, yeah, I mean, it's scary to think the world that we're going to live in another 15, 20 years, if that's where we're headed at the moment. But yeah, it's really good to see with, independent store owners being looked after by local painters. And to be honest, I grew up on the Central Coast, had my painting business down there. Shout out to Campbell's Home Hardware and the guys there. There was a couple of Johns down there that people might know. And I was just trying to think of the old fella's name. He's passed away now, unfortunately, but yeah, I'll think of it. But yeah, he was down there. Oh, Graham. And he was an old painter, and he worked in there. He helped us out a lot too. And the service level down there, those guys were awesome. They looked after us, And I never went to a normal paint store down there. At Inspirations, I used Wattle Paint. That's what they stock. But yeah, they're just awesome to deal with. I know some guys that used to work for me. They actually have their own business down the Central Coast and still go in there all the time. So I've had first-hand experience dealing with independent paint shops or hardware stores. Yeah, it was great. So yeah, it's good to see people doing that. Obviously, we've got a few independent distributors coming on recently. So yeah, hopefully you guys can go out and support them, and any spray gear that you need they'll have for you. But obviously we stand behind that as well. So if you need anything, you can also come to us, because we're all in it together. It's not they just have our stuff in there and it's up to them to deal with. The support level from your store, from us, will be there for the painters. So, and it's the way I see it, man, is there's people that want to go to corporates, get their machines, paint and everything. That's fine. We're trying to give you a Panadol before you get the headache. But if you want to have the headache first, and then you need the Panadol, then come and see us. We'll have the Panadol ready and waiting for you. But it is a bit more expensive than the first dose. So
Yes, yes,
yeah.
it does always cost more.
Yeah, exactly right. But something I wanted to go into now, bro, is, and we got talking about this because a guy came in, said he had his machine for 4 years, and he never cleaned it out. They kept it wet in the line every day, even over the weekend. Kept it airtight and just used it again on Monday. Like, never cleaned it out. And reckons last 4 years we just changed the pump on his machine. And we got talking. So, what when it comes to care and maintenance of your machine, right? In your eyes, do you think that your machine should be fully cleaned out at the end of each day? Should we just run a little bit of water through it? Is it okay to leave it in paint and leave it wet inside? If we're going to leave it at a day, like what's your general rule about cleaning out machines and when to, if you're using them?
I guess in general, the best practice is you should clean it every time.
Yep.
But realistically, like everything, it's not always practical. And you hear stories like that where guys get away with that for a long time. And it's, from my point of view, it's like, man, you're lucky.
Hmm.
But it's like you hear stuff all the time. Like, man, we've been doing this hotel for 6 months or whatever. It's like we just put it in paint,
Yeah.
put it in water, then just leave it, keep going, keep going. So guys have great success with that. And so it goes back to the whole scenario of, if your system works, you're not going to be covered by warranty anyway. So it's like you might as well, if it helps you make more money or save money or save on labor or whatever, like whatever, do it.
Yep.
But like me personally, if I was gonna, I wouldn't leave it in paint overnight. Some would, but I'd flush it out. Just get the paint out, maybe.
Just run a bit of water through it, just to get the paint out.
Yeah, tape it out, leave it in a bucket of water or something. If I'm going to be using it tomorrow, I mean, I've left painting machines in paint before and use it the next day too. So I'm like a sad one.
Yeah.
Like Saturday afternoon,
Yeah.
Saturday night, I got to do it tomorrow morning. Like, so it's like it's hard to say. But like best practice, obviously, you want to clean it, make sure nothing's in there. But the crazy thing is too, bro, is most of the time machines have issues. It's actually not because it's not clean. That's what everyone used to say to me. Like, oh, I didn't clean it out properly. It's like, now you're looking, it's like, well, hang on, it's airtight inside. How is that even possible? But it's like, the more I've been doing this, the more I'm starting to realize that, bro, you need to strain the paint, because new paint has shit in it. Like, it has so much crap. And painters tell me all the time, yeah, no, I have to strain my paint when I roll. And it's like, really? It's like, yeah, because you roll it on, you got a little shit in your paint. Yeah. So it's like, to me, I reckon that's probably most of the problem.
Well, it's funny every time a machine comes in, like I reckon 80% of the time, if people have guys that work, like the guys that work for them, first thing is, oh, they haven't cleaned it out properly. They used it the other day. And it's like, you pull like a prime spray valve off, you pull a pump, like it's cooked, you know what I mean? It didn't happen just overnight because it wasn't cleaned out, like pull a handpiece and doesn't have a filter in it, and all these different things. So I think it's just when you don't know, it's just go, yeah, he didn't clean it out, and some, poor staff member gets absolutely ripped a new one that he stuffed the machine.
I didn't find out later he's the only man in business.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's a bloody apprentice.
He's the only one that sprays. Yeah.
Oh, you don't have an apprentice.
Yeah. Oh, man. How funny. Yeah, but I was the same, man. I used to just rinse the machine out with water, leave it for the next day, then put it back into paint. That was, sort of the process that I used to do. But yeah, look, ideally it's good to clean it out every day. But yeah,
Do you find guys like that come in and they've had that Grain-Kill 395 from 1851. Still looks brand new in the box. Every day they wash it out. They run terps through it, leave it in terps or camera or something. And never repacked it. And they used it for fucking 30 years.
Yeah.
It's like, so that it's definitely good to look after your machine.
Yeah.
But like nowadays, it's everything is consumable. Everything's time driven. It's like just throw it away, get another one.
Well, let's fast forward it to the end of the week. We've finished up for the week, spraying. We're getting ready to clean the machine out and store it over the weekend. I know this is a part you love about cleaning the machine out. Now you have a specific way you like to clean the machine out, which is awesome, where you only use 4 to 6 liters of water, which guys think's crazy and until they see it. But what's your tips around cleaning out to fast track that? Obviously make the clean out quicker and obviously use less water.
Yeah, so a couple of the main things. One would be a lot of guys when they finish, they'll just pull it out of the paint and try and put it in a bucket of water. And that suctions just fill with paint, so they turn it on to prime it.
Yeah.
It just pumps all the paint back into the water. So it just ruins your water straight up off the bat. So me personally, I get it into prime, pull it out of the paint, and just turn it on. I'd pump all the paint back into the bucket.
Yep.
Oh, you're not supposed to run dry. It's like, no, it's paint. It's exactly as if it's in the paint.
Yep.
They pump it out. That saves a fair bit of paint. Chuck it in the water, and then what I like to do is, if you've ever tried to clean up acrylic paint, terps paint, like solvent paint's cleaned really easily. Water-based paint just sticks, man. It creates a film. If I spilt it on here, you have to like wipe it off. You can't just hose it off. Just creates a film and goes over. Same thing happens on the inside of the machine. So what guys do, they clean it out, looks clear, they'll drink the water. Well, but yeah, basically. And then they'll put it away and they'll come back tomorrow and the filter is just full of paint. I'm like, what the heck? I freaking spent hours on this.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing. So there's a coating of paint in there. And then when the water comes through, it collects the level, creates a film, and just bypasses it.
Yep.
And I think it's clean. And it's fair enough. But so what I do is I'll put it in the water, let it collect that, then I'll pull it out of the water to let it break that seal. And you'll see it. You put it back in, the first 3 seconds, very painty water, and it goes clear. And you're like, oh, sweet, clean. Then you pull it out, let it break the seal, drop it back in, same thing. First 3 or 4 seconds, really painty water. So that's what you got to do. You got to pull it out, put it in. Yep. Pull it out, put it in. For 3 seconds, just to break that seal. Great, and that'll just use way less water and done quicker. If you really want it done quick, if you've got a low boy, just take the suction off, put it over the garden tap, turn it on. That fits perfectly and less enough. So you can't do it on site because mess and stuff. But yeah, little things like that just you don't consider. But if you've ever cleaned water-based paint, it is a biatch to clean. And
then also when you're running out through the gun itself, you like to switch the prime spray valve off and on just to open it to clean that out. Yeah, which helps with that.
Once you've got the main body of the paint out, pull your filters out.
Yep.
And do it without filters because it just collects paint. Saw it yesterday. Yep. After a few minutes, you pull it out, it's still full of paint. Just pull it out, give it a clean, and just do it without the filters in it if you want.
Yeah. And also another thing is if you want to speed up the process and you got access to it, that's even using some warm soapy water.
Yep.
Also helps.
Dish soap with a bit of ammonia in it.
Yep.
Which breaks down paint, makes it way quicker.
Yep. Yeah. So that's super helpful. And then, so once you've fully cleaned it out with water, obviously we like to tell guys to store it with a bit of Manus fluid, which can be diluted down 10-1. Give us a few reasons why we like to do that and how you actually put it through the machine.
Yeah, so Yeah, so our conditioner, we call it Mantis fluid. Basically, it's ultra concentrated 10 to 1, so you can dilute it 10 times if you want, which is great. So instead of buying, a liter seems expensive, but when you actually have 10 liters, it's not bad, a couple dollars a liter. But all you got to do is just pump it till it's primed, which is not much.
Yeah. So you don't run it through the hose,
No,
just the
no, you know,
just through the pump.
No,
Yeah.
you clean the machine out as you would, as clean as possible.
Yeah.
By the time it in, the purpose of it is for 2 reasons. One is it has it balances the pH levels in water.
Mhm.
Most water, it depends where you go. It's either really alkaline or really acidic, which will corrode the inside of your pump.
Mhm.
And so you shouldn't just leave water in it. So the benefit of that, if you're going to store it for a while, it balances the pH levels, protects that, but it also leaves a slippy residue so your valves don't stick. So when you come in on Monday, turn on, it doesn't power, you have to smack with a hammer.
Yeah.
So it's good. And then the other thing we do, which I'm sure you're going to bring up, is once you're finished, I see a lot of guys bring machines in with pressure in the line. Don't put pressure in the line, but once you've finished, swap the switch back to spray.
Mhm.
Now turn off the prime spray valve or the return hose, so the air and stuff can't get back inside.
Yeah.
So that's just good if you're going to store it away for a long time.
Okay, cool. And just things that you've talked about is obviously letting the air through the line, pulling the suction out, putting back in. And Eddie mentioned it, training a little while ago about, I didn't know you could get air through the machine. I thought that was really bad. And I've heard that from them. And I used to think that eventually. So why isn't that harmful to the machine?
Obviously, you should run it dry because it just heats up the pump, potentially melts the packing. Me pulling it out and dropping it in, it's not doing anything other than just letting the fluid pass and break the seal. But
it's not enough time to heat the pump up.
Yeah, as far as like when you're spraying, what happens is a lot of guys run out of paint and will start working this tail off. And it's collected a little bit of air. So what they'll do is they'll grab it and drop it into a drum of paint and then go to use it again. But what happens is there's like an air pocket in there. And so what happens is it'll get forced down the line. And then just like if you grab a bottle of water when you're super thirsty, you go slam it down, you get air pocket, you throw it. Same thing happens. So it goes through the line, hits the end, the back pressure goes and holds the top ball down. And then that top ball now no longer will prime or build pressure. Yeah. The guy's like, oh, I was running fine, now it's not running, blah, blah, blah. The funny thing is it's stuck there with a little bit of pressure.
Reprime it.
Yeah. If you can just reprime it. But alternatively, we show you ways how to release that. And it's funny because guys will come in, they're pissed off, they'll grab it, they'll throw the ute, then they'll come to the shop, we'll pull it out and set it up. It's working fine. They're like, bro, it wasn't working. I know, probably not. Because, once you've started the ute, it's valve that loose and then it's fixed the problem. But it's one of those things where if you do run out of paint, out into the new paint, but prime first, get that air bubble out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to have dramas.
And just the last thing on filters, what would be your recommendation on when to replace your filters? What's the signs of you should replace them? On
the normal 60 and 100 mesh or 200 mesh, it's pretty obvious. Like if you pull it out, you'll start getting tip lock into them more regularly. You might start having issues with flow rate. It's not really building up the pressure quickly. Pull them out. If they're clean, great. Just rinse them off. If they can be rinsed off easily, you probably still reuse them. But sometimes you'll notice little pinpricks in it. And what's happened is, it's got buildup. Maybe the paint's too thick for the filter, which is common. Guys use ceiling flat with the red filter for some reason. Don't do that. But it gets to the point where it suffocates and the high pressure will actually stretch and bend the metal and puncture a hole through it. And so now the filter is doing nothing because it's just letting everything through. So in general, if you're using the right filter and cleaning it out regularly, probably lasts a very long time. So traditionally, you do it, new paint has so much crap in it. Eventually, it's going to just, clog up and block up over time, and you just have to chuck it out. But if you strain your paint's clean, using the right filter, the right gun, the right tip, it lasts a really long time.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, perfect. And obviously with replacing of tips as well, we recommend about 400 litres of paint.
I do not recommend that.
Okay, Toddy doesn't recommend that. I'm doing it. Toddy recommends
every job. If you're doing walls and ceilings, if you call paint manufacturers, they will tell you need to use every 400 liters. But if you're doing trim, only finishing work, only roof membrane. Maybe it'll last longer because the paint's really fine and smooth.
So I got him. He didn't know I was talking about only using acrylonitrile and roof membrane.
But if you're using it for ceilings, walls, internals, the body of the house, every job at least.
That is a good point. Just incorporating in each job makes it simple. You're going to factor it in, and people will laugh, but you obviously don't know how much paint you're actually going to be wasting by continuing to using that tip. It's going to be
ask your rep. He'll tell you.
Yeah, it's going to be
hundreds and thousands of liters.
Yeah, it's going to be hundreds of dollars rather than $60 for a new tip. So yeah, paint reps are cringing right now that we're saying this. So manufacturers, but maybe that's why they're not telling you. But anyway, thanks for another episode of the U Spray podcast, and we will see you next time. Until then,
keep spraying.
Yep.